Hi, I'm Timothy Zahn, author of Thrawn, and you're listening to the Escape Podcast. This episode was recorded in front of a live studio audience.
One is a Grand Arena specialist from the UK. The other is a territory battle tactician from the US. Together, there are no signs of intelligent life on board. With both having played this game since launch, the one thing we are sure of is that you will be entertained. The Escape Pod Cast, a service of the Escape Pod Castaways. A weekly podcast about the mobile game Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. Live from the network studios of Yavin 4, here are your hosts, Neil Andrew Eyre and Paul Anthony.
Coming up on this week's edition of the Escape Podcast.
We are a week removed from the road ahead.
Neil, are we supposed to still be upset?
Some people are, and some people aren't.
Well, I, for one, just keep plodding along. I'm almost ready for the new ship.
I am not upset, but I do have some constructive criticism.
Oh, you know what? Believe it or not, Neil, I actually look forward to seeing where you're at on this.
We also have a calendar.
Oh, we have a calendar, and Neil, I see a gap. I have a theory about it.
You always see a gap, and you always have a theory about it, Mr. Prognosticator.
Well, I mean, I've been right most of the time, but we also heard there's going to be a puzzle soon.
Paul, it says here our special guest is...
Hynsey! It's Hynsey, Neil!
Oh, no.
Why? What's wrong?
You don't like it when we sledge each other.
Yeah, well, we do need to catch up with him, and he has been going places.
Yeah, well, let's not bring up the ashes just yet. Oh, no.
Oh, don't worry about it. Well, there's at least Patreon's choice for you on the bridge.
All this and breaking news as and if it happens.
Right here on the Escape Pod Cast.
The Escape Pod Cast News.
Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Escape Pod Cast. I'm your host, the Nev, and as always, I'm joined by my co-host and hetero life partner, Paul. Paul, how are you doing? Just as we hit the hype train.
Just as we get a hype train, that is right. Thank you really quick to Dr. Jojo, Big Country Mags, and Kitty Yoda for activating, or Dr. Feelgood gifting a sub to Kitty Yoda and activating a hype train. We appreciate you guys. It's up to you guys. If you want to continue this, we'll acknowledge anything that happens during the hype train at the end. But I am doing all right, Neil. It's been a slow but more fleshed out week, I would say, in the world of Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes.
Well, I mean, the all people have been talking about this week is the road ahead. So, that's it. That has been the topic of conversation this week. Everybody's been talking about it. Gambit Podcast has been talking about it. You've had the Battalion. They've had their roundtable. We've had the Operation Metaverse talking about it. God knows how many times they've talked about it on RSG. But yeah, that is all that has been talked about this week.
I do have to acknowledge Oscar Meow just gifted 5 subs to Heathen.
So meow, meow, meow.
Freeman, Zaz, Wolfman, and to Plasma.
Hello, Governor. It's just been all conversation this week about the road ahead and the implications for it. Because the other great thing that's happened this week is we've had Crumb. Crumb has been on several chats and he's done several streams with people. I mean, he gave a brilliant interview. He was with the Gambit Podcast crew for an entire hour. He was with Reality Skew Gamers for a period of time. He did a Magic the Gathering stream with Loki last night. I sacrificed doing my GAC stream just to watch that. And I don't even play Magic the Gathering. So, it's just been all talk. So, it's been a good week.
Well, the fun news, at least for me, is that there's a possibility of a puzzle in the very, very near future.
Yeah. There is. There were hints at a puzzle. There have been hints at a puzzle since a couple of days after the release of the Road Ahead. Because Crumb mentioned it briefly used the puzzle word during the video that he did, and then he mentioned it again during the Gambit podcast. And it has been confirmed within the past 24, 48 hours that there will be a puzzle. And I think earlier on today, it's been confirmed that it is going to be next month. So we know we're getting a puzzle, and we know it is next month.
Yeah, I'm thinking the puzzle's going to be for the punishing one. I think we're getting Dengar's ship, especially because we need Dengar at relic, whatever it is, 3-5. So
I'll do it. I will do it, and I will work on it. Because it'd be rude not to. But I need to get gas. I need to get gas finished and out of the way. As soon as gas is done and dusted and out of the way, then then I'll go to work on the Superstar Destroyer requirements. But not before then. Really, really not before then. I have a plan in my head. I'm sticking to it. I am staying on target. As much as it pains me to do the Separatist droids, I know that I will reap the rewards from having a Relic Separatist droid squad, and obviously, gas and a Relic gas. So, I'm going to stick with that because
another thing that it could be is something else that's needed for, or that Bad Batch will be needed for. Do we get a epic or journey guide? Not journey guide. I guess it'd be maybe an epic confrontation. But you know what it needs to be? And I would be remiss if I didn't say it. It needs to be Hondo.
Yeah.
If it's Hondo, what do I do if it's Hondo, Neil?
I don't know. You jump for joy.
I got to think of something. If the puzzle is Hondo,
it's not going to be Hondo.
It has to be Hondo.
It's not going to be him. You and Thaddeus's obsession with
it's not just
with
me.
Hondo. Yes, but you are the two most vocal people about it, and your vocal obsession with wanting him in the game is, bordering very, very closely on the inappropriate love that Rambam has for Mace Windu. Because and Crumb, there is a clip. Somebody drop it. Go to a Discord server. Crumb did a very, very poignant video, a message for Rambam regarding Mace Windu. It got clipped and it has been shared. So I'll just say that. But the puzzle needs to be for something good. Puzzle needs to be for something good. I can a new ship would be great. I think a new ship or the puzzle would be definitely worthwhile.
In addition, really quick, we just had the hype train complete. In addition to Asuka Meow's 5 gifted subs, Dr. Feelgood gifted a sub to Asuka Meow. Thank you for the hype train.
I mean, I hope that it is the punishing one, and then I hope that we get other ships as well. I'd love to see more bounty hunter ships. Django doesn't have a ship, so we could have another slave. We could have another slave 1 for Django. We could have.
Don't you mean Jango Fett's Starfighter?
No, I don't. I mean Django Fett's slave 1. We could do with a ship for Greedo. We could do with a ship for Zam. We've got a boatload of bounty hunters, and they should have ship. There needs to be at least 7 bounty hunter ships. At least 7. A bare minimum of 7 bounty hunter ships. And I just think that's the way it should. So we've got 5 at the moment. If we get punishing,
we do have 5. Yeah, we have Houndstooth, IG-2000, Slave 1, Xanadu Blood, and no.
Razor Crest.
Oh, Razor Crest. 5, yes.
So punishing one for Dengar would be a good idea, and I think a slave one for Django would be the most appropriate ship because a lot of people have had to relic Django, and having an already relicked Django would just be perfect. It would guarantee money in the bank for CG. It is the fiscally responsible thing for EA to do for their shareholders. Introduce a ship that is guaranteed to be whaled on because of every single person in the community that already has a relict Django. I guarantee, dolphins would whale on that ship because ships, when you're a ship or a character, something that you need to take to 7 stars, we're talking about something that's between $200 and $300. It's not a huge amount. It's not outside the realm of dolphins. And I think that, with the knowledge that the Superstar Destroyer is coming, it gives people that extra push that CG wants to give to people to go for a specific ship. And they've already said a lot of the changes that they're implementing in the game that they spoke of in the road ahead, they want to push people towards Galactic Legend. And the Superstar Destroyer is, for all intents and purposes, a Galactic Legend ship. So it would make sense from a fiscal point of view to introduce ships that they can make instant cash. And a Django ship would give them instant cash, as would a Dengar ship. There's 2 ships that people would instantly spend money on. Sure, it's only $200-300, but that's a lot of you add all the tens of thousands of $200-300. That's a lot of money. It's a lot of $200-300.
Yeah, definitely. Nabokov fan is Nabokov fan is saying that the rebels only have 3 ships. No, they have MILF, they have Phantom, Ghost, they have Biston. So there's more
Cassium.
Than that. Yep.
Phantom,
by
Ghost,
the way,
yeah.
It was, I want to make sure that the person gets the correct, somebody said that there should be a Gungan faction. Double Durgan definitely said there needs to be a Gungan faction. And Plasma responded that we'll get the Gungan faction when we get Darth Jar Jar.
Yeah. Oh, Darth Jar Jar. Now there's another character that'd get wailed on. No. If they're going to show bounty hunters, but if they're going to make
what if it's Red 5?
No, we won't get anything. We won't get anything like that until 2023.
Okay.
I don't think that we're going to get any kind of fan service characters like a OP Leia or a Red 5 Luke with his X-wing until the anniversary year of Jedi, which is 2023. 40th anniversary of Jedi is 2023. That's when they, just like they did last year with the Empire anniversary. We got Jedi Knight Luke. We got the OP. Because it was OP. We got the OP upgrade and remastering of Vader. So yeah, I don't think that we'll get a Red 5 Luke and his ship or an OP Leia until 2023 during the 40th anniversary. Which would be poignant. It would be good. It would be awesome to get an over-the-top powerful Leia. And it would be really, really good to get a Red 5 Luke. But then they would have to, re-skin Biggs and Wedge. So that we get Red 2 and Red 3. Because you got to have Red 2, Red 3, and Red 5. You need to be, just so that you can have them in a starting lineup. And then bring MILF in as your reinforcement. So your Wedge gets your Biggs gets your Biggs gets destroyed. Your Wedge gets damaged and has to fly away, and then in comes the Millennium Falcon as a reinforcement, and you just destroy everyone. Yeah, that's the way it should be.
But by the way, we have SB Crumb actually sitting in the chat, and he does say that Darth Jar Jar
Darth Jar
is
Jar
confirmed.
confirmed. Brilliant. Thank you, good sir. That is what I want to hear. That is what I want. I would drop everything for a Darth Jar Jar. I would drop all my current farms for a Darth Jar Jar. I would hoard crystals just so that I could, go into the store and buy the packs. But not if they're 5s and 7s. Only if it's guaranteed 10s. No Swevens. I'm like Ranger. I don't like Swevens. Which is weird, because I don't usually spend my crystals on those packs. But when the packs were 10s, I spent crystals on those packs. But when there's a risk of getting 5s and 7s, I wouldn't spend my crystals on them. It's a weird thing, that.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Bounty Hunters, if you're going to give the Bounty Hunters a great, big, wonderful Superstar Destroyer as their capital ship, then you've got to, the faction needs to be rounded out so that you've got 7 Bounty Hunters. So, punishing 1, I think, would be perfect, and another slave 1 for Django. That's the way that I see it. That's the way I see it going.
Excellent. So what are you thinking, Neil? A week after, personal feelings on the whole road ahead.
Well, I've actually I've been thinking about it more. I don't think it's going to bury Grand Arena Championships. It's definitely going to change strategy, and it's definitely going to change tactics. But we knew that was going to happen with the reboot. The thing is, we've only had 2 months of the reboot. And yes, the tactics and the strategy have been different. But knowing that the off-meta counters are potentially not going to work as they currently do moving forward, it's going to change people's strategy. So people that have got GLs, knowing that their off-meta counters aren't going to work, are less likely to put their GLs on defense, because as opposed, so instead of putting their slacker on defense and, keeping hold of their off-meta counter so that they can take out a C with their Imperial Troopers, or take out a Ray with Vader Watt and all of that lot, they're more likely to take their GLs on offense and then just hope that they one-shot them, because they're not going to have an off-meta counter or mop-up afterwards. So I've calmed down there. I do, however, still have some concerns regarding the value and the time that the community has put into the off-meta counters. I understand that CG want to funnel people towards Galactic Legends. And the resources required in order to go for a Galactic Legend are quite voluminous. If you're having to relic 13 characters in order to go for a Galactic Legend, but you only need to relic 5 characters for an off-meta counter, obviously the investment in an off-meta counter is considerably less than the investment in a Galactic Legend. However, my caveat and my criticism to just changing the abilities of these characters that are part of the off-meta counter would be, if you want to funnel people towards the Galactic Legend, then you need to provide a full refund of the characters that you're changing, not just rolling them back a couple of relic levels. Somebody that has relicked, someone that's relicked Treya, Vader, someone that's relicked Shore Trooper, someone that's relicked Thrawn, someone that's relicked Wat Tambor. There's 5 characters that a person's relicked, because it's cheaper to relic those 5 characters than spend that relic material on 5 resistance or 5 first order characters. If you want those people to go for those first order and those resistance and invest in the Galactic Legend, you need to refund all those relics back. You need to roll that all the way back to Gear 13 0 and give the person the option of then spending those relic materials on First Order or on Resistance in order to go for a Galactic Legend. Just rolling someone back from Relic 8 to 5 or 7 to 5, that doesn't cut it for me. I think if CG does genuinely want to funnel and make people focus more on the Galactic Legends, give people back their resources to 0, Gear 13, no relics on, and then you give everybody that spent the resources relicking the off-meta characters to take out GLs, and then they can put all of those relic materials into the characters in order to go for a GL.
Okay, how would so I mean you would literally say this to Crumb if he was face to face with us right now, right?
Yeah. I don't think it's unreasonable.
Well, then Neil, what we're gonna do is we're gonna take a break. When we return from the break, SB Crumb appears live right here on the Escape Podcast.
Ooh.
Push the button.
The Escape Podcast with Paul Anthony and Neil Andrew Ware.
HotBot in HotUtils is one of the most comprehensive tools for Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes.
With integration into the super useful mod tool Grand Ivory, HotUtils can help you tackle some of the most difficult aspects of the game.
Not sure how to mod your roster for a certain game mode?
Use one of the many filters that automatically assigns the right mods to the right character in accordance with your guild needs.
Now with additional features that can assist you and your guild officers in territory battles and territory wars, HotUtils is an amazing value.
And don't forget the useful tools for yourself in Grand Arena, like the in-depth and customizable compare feature.
Got multiple accounts like Neil, but not the time to remod them all?
With this one-stop utility, you can switch between your alts and never miss a mod upgrade or a mod switch before locking into GAC or Territory Wars.
Starting at just $5 a month, you don't want to miss out on these great tools.
HotUtils is the new official remodding service for the Escape Pod Cast.
Visit HotUtils.com to learn more. That's HotUtils.com. And go ahead and spice up your Galaxy of Heroes experience.
Podawans, be sure to support the shows brought to you on the Escape Podcast Twitch and YouTube channel by becoming a Patreon. For as little as $2 a month, you can support us and get a little extra for yourself. With tiered rewards including access to Shitty Bill's Arena tracking bot, after-show access, inclusion in the GA Center leaderboards, behind-the-scenes access, and much more. There is something for everyone on our Discord server. Head on over to Patreon, that is patreon.com/theescapepod and sign up today. Thank you for supporting and listening to the Escape Podcast.
Hello friends, this is Thaddeus from Going Nerdy, and I approve this message, and am compensated for signups for this service.
The world's largest audiobook library is at your fingertips, and the Escape Pod Castaways wants you to try it for free. Head on over to escapepodcastaways.com and click the Going Nerdy offer button to claim a free audiobook and 2 Audible originals. Cancel anytime, and it's absolutely free to sign up. Check out Audible and support the Escape Pod Castaways, all for free. See Audible website for details. Restrictions may apply. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome into the Patreon leaderboard brought to you by the Patreons of the Escape Podcast. Whether you're watching this on GA Center or the Escape Podcast, you guys help make this possible. Join if you'd like to be on the leaderboards next month, which is coming up quick. Go to patreon.com/theescapepod, no cast, to sign up at the Kyber Combatant level or higher, and we'll put you on these boards right alongside all the rest of the great people that support the show. So let's go ahead and get to it. We break down the GAC of people that enjoy supporting the show. Starting with Big Country Megs, who next week will be our final time covering him because he will join the streamer leaderboards coming up after this. But he goes 3-0 for the week, 6,332 in banners, 27 wins, 2 losses, 10 holds. D goes 2-1 with 5,118 banners, 19 wins, 3 up, 1 down. Dark Helmet goes 3-0 this week. He said, I was the only one with Glowcat, and they held the back zone each round. That's evil, Dark Helmet. But with 78-59 in banners, 36 up, 4 down, and 6 holds, those 6 holds definitely got you the win. Taking a look at Dr. JoJo, who also goes 3-0. He says he may have to look back in his history, but this might be his first triple crown on the leaderboard with 33 wins and no losses. 3-0, no losses. That is a triple crown. Round 1, he left both the Gas and JML teams on the back untouched. Round 2, he faced a fellow member of the Gambit Discord server, our good friends over at Gambit. They always post in the mod channel all the crazy mods he gets, so he got really worried. He had a deeper roster and much deeper mods, but he had the GL advantage. Maybe something that CG needs to look into, but I'm not supposed to do commentary during this. At the end of the day, it was a thick modding on Nihilus that he underestimated, and it causes him to drop a battle versus Treya, and Dr. JoJo won by 8 banners. Hell of a matchup and a hell of a competitor. His last round was a letdown in comparison. All right, let's go ahead and move on to the next one. Force Strong. Force Strong goes 3-0. 55-52 with 23 wins, 1 loss, 5 holds, no report, so I don't get to go into much more detail like I did with Dr. JoJo. Hot Sauce, who is not a streamer, but he makes some of the best bots in the game. Go visit HotUtils.com for more information. 84-21. He always, of course, gets the most banners. 3-0 again, Hot Sauce. Congratulations on that. 39 wins, 3 losses, 2 holds. Schnarman goes 0-3. Looks like he just joined an auto set, but he got 3 holds. And then finally me, 2-1, 78-80. Outside of Hot Sauce, I was the highest banners this week. Very humbling to see that. 36 wins. I did full clear everything. 4 losses, though, and 3 holds. Let's take a look at the boards. Dr. JoJo in the lead, 8-1. He goes 3-0. He will solidify yet another crown. Hot Sauce right behind him has the banner advantage. So, if Dr. JoJo drops a battle and Hot Sauce goes 3-0, he is going to win it. We'll see what happens next week. Dark Helmet goes 7-2. I am also 7-2. Well, you'll see next week. And then BCM in the lower division bringing up the rear in the 7-2s. Force Strong is 6-3, Schnarman at 4-5, and D at 3-6. How will this all end up next week? That will be the Patreon champion for this month. We'll look forward to seeing that. For the Escape Podcast and GA Center, either one that you're watching, more coming up right after this. Be nice to each other, damn it.
We want you. Join the GAC Chain Gang today. This is the commander of the 506 Procrastination Battalion and the leader of the GAC Chain Gang. I am sending out a call to action for any SWGOH content creators on Twitch who would be willing to broadcast their GAC attack rounds alongside some of our best, including Mr. Jigabachi, Dr. Zeppers, Rico 1982, and the Bounty Honeys. What is the Chain Gang, you ask? We are an amazing group of content creators who are dedicated on streaming the Grand Arena Championship attack rounds on Twitch. The idea is to provide continuous content back-to-back from one streamer to the next and allow the viewers to enjoy more SWGOH content, as well as enjoy the variety of streamers that are currently present in the group. If you are interested in joining the Chain Gang, please reach out to myself on Discord at AndyBeads, #7465, or you can send us a message on our Twitter page at ChainGAC. Join us today. We have your back.
The Escape Podcast.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It's an impromptu incoming transmission. So Paul's told me he wants to do his MC thing. So MC, take it away.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, you know this man from such shows as the Road Ahead. And also he has his own Twitch channel where he's already raised over $2,000 for the Children's Miracle Network, which congratulations on that. He rivals me for the best facial hair in the community. And ladies and gentlemen, this man no longer needs any more introduction. SB Crumb, welcome to the show on short notice.
Yeah, as I say, I'm very jealous of your beard too, as well. I think you got a good style going on there. I don't know why I'm just particularly drawn to it, but I feel it's very apt.
I don't know what it is. Now, Neil, we challenged you to say it to his face.
Say it to his face.
Do it.
Yes. Okay. Right. So during the Gambit podcast, the questions were being thrown at you regarding the changes to the off-meta counter characters. So, Vader and Watt and JKL, and the point was made to you that a lot of time and money and resources had been spent on a lot of these off-meta counter characters, relicking them. Because, not just Vader and not just Watt, but characters like Traya and Shaw and Thrawn. So people have spent a lot of time and money and resources taking these characters up to a relic level that allows those characters to work together as an off-meta counter. And while I agree with you to a certain extent that, the defense needed to be the authority needed to be stamped down and reestablished, defense needs to mean something in this game, and I don't have any issues with buffing characters. By reducing the value of those characters, you reduce the value and the time and the effort and the resources into those off-meta relic characters. So the compromise that I'm proposing is you want people to invest in GLs, and a GL is a good 13 characters, varying different relic levels, but 13 characters at various different levels. You want people to invest and go for those GLs. If you were to reimburse the 5 character, if someone's invested in like 5 characters, if you were to reimburse, though not all the gear, but if you were to just take them back to gear 13 relic 0, they can then take those relic materials and put them towards First Order or Resistance. And, it's not going to take them all the way to a Galactic Legend, but it gives them the impetus. It's like, do I put it back onto these off-meta counters, or do I take these relic materials and do 5 First Order and then the rest myself? Or do I do 5 First Order, 5 Resistance, and then take them the rest of the way? Because while I understand, and I think it's great that you are going to give back some degree of relics for certain characters that have been changed, I just think it would be more reasonable to reimburse all of the relic materials back to 0, and then allow allow that player to then decide themselves: do I pump all of these into going for a GL, or do I put them all back on the character that they've just been reimbursed for? So that's my idea. That I would say that's better than just giving 2 levels of relic back to a character.
All I'll say is that there was a lot of discussion around like, how do we handle this whole change? And I think like when we go talk about like, when do we return resources to characters in general, a lot of it is around like, do we change the core identity of that character? And when these characters released, like that was their value, and a lot of people invested in them deeply then. And so it becomes really hard to know, like, why did someone invest in X character versus Y character? And I think, it's fairly difficult for us to like do a ton of tiny little targeted kind of returns of gear. Like, we'd rather do a broad one and make it sort of a big sweeping thing and easier. It's also like we find that a little bit more fair for players to do that across the board. And so I think if we did something like way more nuanced, I think we have the chance of potentially messing that up. But also just as like, it's hard to know if we get all the edge cases here. So I think there's a case to be made of like, if the core identity of a character changes, like this thing that I was doing with it is now totally different, then that's when we think about trying to return more resources on them. I think the leap from 7 to 8, Relic 7 to Relic 8, is where like a lot of like big power comes from for like countering Galactic Legends. And so that's why we sort of settled on that for that particular drop. But as I said, like it was quite a debate internally of like, where does this land? How do we make sure we make at least feel that like we've given back the value of that they've had to a counter a Galactic Legend? And we didn't want to go all the way back, because I said, I think like Vader is still incredibly powerful. He's still going to like one-shot most things off the board. But we just like didn't want him to just be one-shotting Rey and folks like that. So, and I think we try to strike a balance there. I understand your opinion on it though, and I feel you.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
What I was going to ask is along the same vein of what Neil's saying. You've mentioned the words that you want, or that CG wants, the time and resources invested into a character to matter. Mm-hmm. And what I'm seeing is Relic 8 is not it's not easy to get. Neil says that he doesn't have it, but I took my I'm one of the first to admit I took my Death Trooper to Relic 8 because of how powerful that or Dark Trooper to Relic 8 because of how powerful he is. Not just for the Galactic Legend counter, because I don't have all the rest of it ready there, but I mean, they literally put the resources in those characters, especially hard to get arrow fires, the last two pieces for Relic 8. So in their defense, they have put those resources into said characters for said counters. Why is it that it's this way in buffing C to prevent the Dark Trooper counter when it needs to be high anyway? The surrounding cast still also needs to be high.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think we identified Dark Trooper specifically as a character that when we were looking at the Sith Eternal Emperor changes, that this character was going to get changed significantly of like how effective it was. We saw when we did a bunch of tests internally and we talked to a lot of players about this, they told us this similar story, right? Like I brought this Dark Trooper up to Relic 8 to only counter Galactic Legends, and that was a specific story behind that one. That's why we went a little farther with the return on resources on that one, because that character in particular I think got hit a little bit more harder than the rest of them. But like you said, it's complicated how every individual has been affected differently. I think we mentioned this in Road Ahead that it's everyone's roster and where they are in the game is totally different, and what the value of this character to you is pretty broadly different depending on where you are in the game. So yeah, we tried to run a middle ground here between making sure that we were giving the appropriate amount of stuff back, but also making sure that we were honoring people who had already invested in these characters and saying like, this is still a valuable character. It's still very powerful. It has a place in this game, and you'll still be able to use it very effectively. And like I said, with other characters, they're still doing the core thing that they were doing from the start, regardless of whether they were Galactic Legend counters on top of that. Dark Trooper, I think, is a specific case because he's a newer character that he was really specifically being upgraded to do that. We found, at least in our data. And so like we didn't see Dark Trooper used in a lot of other teams at higher levels outside of that one very kind of niche case. So it's a balancing act for sure. And I know like people will say, well, I was affected differently by that. And so we try to strike a sort of happy medium on this stuff the best we could.
Well, that's just it. Everybody's affected differently because people relic those characters for different reasons. Like, I mean, I've got just I've written down, Ray counters is Gas and Vader, Slacker counters, JKR, obviously other ones in there, Imperial Troopers for C, and then Gas and CLS for JML counters. And I don't doubt for 1 second that these characters that are being reduced, no matter how small, but are being reduced in ability in order to counter GLs are still going to mollywop the crap out of everybody else, and I 100% get that. But, and it's an important but, it's in that a lot of these counters are individual. They're not all one faction. So you might have relicked 5 characters for an off-meta counter, and yeah, sure, those characters are great, but the rest of the faction might not be built up. And if they knew going into the game that those 5 individual characters from 5 separate factions weren't going to do the GLs, they'd be like, well, I'll just relic a faction so that I've got a full faction all at relic. Bounty hunters, Imperial troopers, Night Sisters, Separatist droids. But now what people are going to have is Vader relic, but maybe not the rest of the Empire. Treya relic, but not the rest of the the Sith triumvirates. The Shore Trooper, but so that's the Jake. What is it? Gas, but not the 50. But not the 51st. And that's that. So that's where I'm. And relicking those and having them relicked, and the rest of their faction being, they're still going to be boss as hell. But like I said, different strokes for different folks. People will relic them. So that's why I'm just, posing the suggestion to you that maybe you could go back and maybe there's some middle ground. Maybe there's some middle ground there. Maybe not necessarily refunding relics all the way back to 0. Maybe that's not something that's doable. Maybe, maybe just 3 or 2 or something along those lines. I just think if you want to encourage the community to go for GLs, which is what you're trying to do with these changes, the piecemeal, that leaf, that olive branch to the community would be, well, all right, if you've got these characters relic, we'll take them back to 0, even though 9 times out of 10 that person's instantly going to put them straight back on. So yeah, I'm taking my Vader back to 7. I'm taking my Thrawn back to 5. I'm taking my Treya back to 5. I'm taking my Shore Trooper back to 5. And most people will probably just take them straight back once they see the money in the bank. But you give community members the option to be like, well, you know what? I've got enough relic material here to do my Finn. I've got enough relic material to do Poe. I've got enough to do, Rey. So sod it. I'll put it onto that. And then I will go for my GL Rey. That's all I'm saying is that, the potential money winner, I mean, it's not going to be, dollars raining down on CG and EA, but I'm sure that there's a bean counter that you can go and speak to maybe and just pose the idea to, just put that little inception. If you do this, maybe the community will spend X amount of money, putting relics on a GL that they don't necessarily want, but they know they're going to need it moving forward because GLs are numero uno.
I'll say we've had a lot of these conversations. It's not it's not.
I don't doubt that for a second.
Yeah, no, I mean myself and Doja, we always try and bring the opinion of the community to the team. Like that's one of our main roles is to make sure we gather up what the sort of feedback is. And it's that we obviously estimated a lot of this feedback ourselves, right? Like we've hung out with community members. We talk with them all the time. We've got a great set of testers as well inside the group or inside testing group that sees a lot of this stuff early and gives us like a first kind of like response to a lot of this stuff. So, I said like when we take all that into account when we're trying to figure out like what is the right level there, I think there's a conversation to be had of like what is the right balance. I think it can be hard to know what is the exact right level for that because you could say like everyone could be affected if we just do it in the far end of the spectrum where like anything affected gets returned to you, then it's like this could be half your roster that could be returned to you, and then it's like, is that really the best experience that we want to bring to with these changes? And ultimately, so we feel like we found the middle ground there the best we can. But I hear what you're saying, and I'll definitely go talk to the team again and say like, hey, here's the feedback from the team, like, and here's what they care about. But I'll say that we've had a lot of discussions with the bean counters. I'll say that.
So, in this respect, in making Galactic Legends really the only other counter to Galactic Legends, and I know you've been asked this question before, but sadly I don't know if I've understood the answer. Maybe you can explain it to me like I'm 5. Is there going to be another look at matchmaking in not just Grand Arena? Because now that we have teams that are getting 4 Galactic Legends, if it becomes where every single zone in Territory Wars is filled up with a Galactic Legend, it comes down to who has the bigger stick instead of these counters can do that so you can get through to that.
Yeah, I think we've been looking at a lot of like what matchmaking impacted this has, and in our initial tests, I think they've said they're pretty much happy with where we think it's going to land, but it's something we're going to monitor. And absolutely, this is not just for GAC; it's also for Territory Wars. It's for any mode in which there's people are facing off against these characters, and when you encourage a broad roster. So this could be Conquest as well, and things like that. That we'll definitely look at the data and make sure that it's hitting the marks on that, because yeah, we don't want the terrible experience where you're just like, well, I just feel like it's futile for me to do anything, and you're just kind of checking out because it doesn't seem like there's an option for you to solve the battle that's in front of you. So yeah, I think like it's something we're concerned about, and we'll definitely be watching as these changes roll out, whether that there needs to be some changes to matchmaking around the game. having lots of conversations about matchmaking for a variety of reasons right now, but it's definitely part of the conversation.
I'm going to ask a question on Neil's behalf. Can you tell us more about this whole speed GAC thing?
Sure.
I wasn't actually going to ask that, but yeah, that's still a good question.
Trying to put words in your mouth. Yeah, I mean, like, what do you want to know more about it? I guess is I should ask in response there. I mean, you know, I guess
is it going to be a new challenge mode, or are you thinking more along the lines of just using one of the test servers and giving 8 members of the community a test account and having 8 devs with test accounts, and then putting all of those 8 people into a group and having them do
be 4 and 4? But yes, exactly that kind of thing.
Sorry, not 8 and 8. Yes, my apologies. 4 and 4. Yeah,
I know what you meant, but yeah, that's the idea right now. Is the second piece where it's like we're going to take a special server that we're working on right now that's going to shorten up the timers and all that, so it'll be kind of just specific to that server. But you know, I said it's something that we maybe want to do more than one of. We're just talking today about like, well, if this goes well, like, what do we do with that afterwards? So, you know, maybe we do that. We do a couple of these with different other content creators out there with other parts of the community. Because I think it'd be a fun, like, I feel like it's going to be a really fun experience, like condensing this thing down and having everyone try and, you know, do a little trash talking and try to get through his defenses in 30 minutes. Cause that's going to be a blitz to get through all that. So the idea is, is right now it's on a test server for the moment. This is not going to be a challenge mode in game or anything like that.
Could I make it for Neil? He did 4 accounts in 2 hours before.
Oh
yeah.
Wow!
Yeah. It's doable. No, I was going to say, you know, if you're looking for someone to manage a server that 8 people can join, there's a show called GA Center that specifically covers Grand Arena.
I've heard of it.
I'm pretty sure that they would love to have the ability to have a test server that they can put 8 content creators in. Or like during the week, you know, during the off seasons between, you know, the months between the, you know, the GA Grand Arena Championship seasons, so that, you know,
Neil,
they could have some fun with that, and, you know, bringing Neil, content creators across the board, you know, so we could have, you know, we could see how 8 people from Division 6 could do, how 8 people from Division 5 could do, and 4 and 3 and 2 and you know, and have a kind of mix it up, have a little bit of fun with something like that.
And Neil, aren't there 2 people that one owns a referee's shirt and one owns a you know, that they've called live matches? They have experience.
Yeah, we have called. Yes, we have. Yeah, we've done that. Yeah, we did do that, didn't we? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we're exploring a lot of options with this. It's depending on how successful it is. I think there's a lot of ideas there, and I think, like, again, exploring whether we can, you know, I think it's fun to have the devs in there as well against the community.
Yeah,
but what if there's a world, if there's it's just 8 content creators just, you know, smashing their heads together, or a select group of folks that they've chosen or something like that. I think there's some cool options there for sure, and it's definitely not off the table. It's not in our initial iteration right now. We're going to just see how that one goes. But I like all the ideas
versus the devs. Yeah, definitely.
And then we'll but keep coming up with ideas, because I think there's opportunity here for sure. And so I hope I imagine this first event, something's going to go wrong. It's going to break. It's going to be a disaster. It's going to be a lot of fun. But just make
sure you just take the GLs out.
Yeah.
Just make sure you take the GLs out.
Well, at least make sure everyone has an equal playing field. So whatever account we give them, everyone's going to have the same thing, right? Same mods.
Thank you.
Same roster. Because I think if you just do it based on their own rosters, then I think it adds another element to it that's like not necessarily the skill of the person doing the thing. So
if you make everything equal, it's 100% the skill of the person.
Yeah, that's the hope of it. Yeah, we're gonna see. I hope it goes really smoothly. I imagine we'll run into some issues, but we're gonna maybe do some like test runs leading up to it as well, and see how that all works out. And then hopefully we can. Then if it's successful, and I'd like to do it again in the future if possible. But let's get the first one under our belts first before we start iterating our ideas.
No. I get that. Sorry, sir.
Yeah, we're coming up on time, Neil. So
yeah, I know. The last thing that I've got is just something for Crumb's notebook. Obviously, with Relic 9 coming up, and a lot of people without Relic 8 materials, and, there's that concern there, a suggestion that makes it easier for the entire community to be able to get Relic 8 materials. Don't reduce the difficulty of the Crown Core, reduce the Relic requirement to do it from 5 to 3. That way, lesser guilds can have, so you might have someone with 10, 15 Relic 3s, but they haven't got the resources to take them to Relic 5 and can't do the Crown Core, but they could throw 3 Relic 5 teams in, and if you've got a guild of 50 people and they can all put in, it's not going to take like 2 million or 3 million damage like Relic 5, but it might take 500,000 there, 750k there. And if guilds are allowed, if guilds have, more chance to throw more teams at the Crown Core, they've got a better chance of getting to the end and getting some Relic 8 materials.
That's an interesting suggestion.
Just a suggestion, yeah.
All right. Crumb, I have one final question that comes from basically everybody in the world. Where's Hondo?
I mean, I knew this question was coming, but also, I said, you're not going to get any fight back from me. Like, look, Hondo is one of my favorite characters. So look, we'll see what we can do. Every time we're talking about new characters, I'm chirping in their ear saying, what about Hondo? Maybe we can get him in there. No new announcements today, of course, and but know that your voices are being heard, and they're being heard often inside CG around Hondo.
Well, I just wonder how often Thad and I just yell, "Where's Hondo?" into the void, and it actually shows up there. So
yeah, we got a ticker on the wall at CG every time someone just goes outside and just yells Hondo at the top of their lungs, and it's ticking up pretty quickly. So
perfect, a Hondo ticker.
Yeah.
All right. Crumb, thank you so much for taking a moment, making an impromptu appearance on the show. Let's not let as long as the last time happen again.
Yes, absolutely. Let's do more stuff together. You guys are great, and thank you for all you guys do for the community. I love the GAC show and stuff, everything. So keep up the great work, and yeah, let's chat again soon.
All right, guys, stick around. Coming up after this break, it's a pre-recorded interview with Hynesy. I was a little bit overmodulated. I apologize, but it was more Hynesy talking than me. So enjoy that. Coming up right out here after this break, right here on the Escape Podcast.
The Escape Podcast with Paul Anthony and Neil Andrew Ware.
Hello, Escape Podawans. It is the Llama here to remind you that the Escape Pod Castaways are on social media. We're on Facebook, we're on Twitter, you can catch us on YouTube and on Twitch every week streaming Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, LEGO Legacy Heroes Unboxed, your favorite new Galaxy of Heroes show GA Center, and so much more. Come catch us on the web.
Hynsey from the ANZGC is officially a member of the Escape Pod Castaways. Make sure you go and search for Hynsey on YouTube today, because he live streams a lot of his GAC content, and not only does he do that, he also does some pretty fun videos from time to time, including a behind the screen and also streaming Jedi Fallen Order. And from time to time, this idiot might drop by. Head on over and check out Hynsey today on YouTube, a part of the Escape Pod Castaways Network.
The Escape Pod Cast for Kids. It's really cool.
Welcome back to a story time with Uncle Thad and the Escape Pod Cast for Kids. Today we are going to be talking about none other than Admiral Piet, captain and number one lackey of Darth Vader. We will talk about his humble beginnings, his glorious rise to the ranks of the Empire, and where his swagger kit fits in canon. Admiral Firmus Piet, that's right, his name is Firmus, is a human male born on the planet Axilla, located in the Outer Rim territories of the galaxy. It's long since rumored that his parents named him Firmus because they hated him and wanted to give him a name that would drive him towards military service. Their parental machinations worked too, because young Firmus joined the Galactic Imperial Navy and served as a junior officer to none other than Grand Moff Williff Tarkin. While not much is known about Piet's service in the Navy pre-Return of the Jedi, we do know that he was stationed on the Star Dreadnought Executor before the Battle of Hoth, working with Admiral Kendall Ozzel during the incursion against the Rebel base. Piet was in the perfect position to assume command of the Dreadnought after Ozzel suffered a demotion at the hand of Lord Vader. And when I say demotion, I mean strangulation by force choke. Now, we don't know if Admiral Piet, or at the time Captain Piet, somehow sabotaged Admiral Ozzel, knowing that Lord Vader would force choke him. But because this is the Imperial Navy and political machinations are abundant, I wouldn't be surprised if Piet somehow made Vader force choke him. Just saying, it's very possible. It was Admiral Piet who led the Executor in pursuit of the Millennium Falcon. He bravely sent wave after wave of TIE Fighter to flush out the Falcon in that asteroid field. And when those TIE Fighters crashed into the oncoming asteroid field, he bravely sent more. Piet ultimately met his end at the Battle of Endor when an A-Wing crashed into the bridge of the Executor, ultimately killing him and just about everyone else on the battleship. Now, it is rumored that 1 or 2 mouse droids may have survived. Let's face it, if Luke and Vader were able to survive, it's also possible that Piet survived. And because we don't know how Emperor Palpatine actually got off the ship, it's very possible that a blazed, charred, but still very much alive Admiral Piet somehow saved Palpatine and brought him off the ship. Now, again, that's just speculation, and since most characters who die off screen don't actually die, it's very possible that he was the one that saved Palpatine. But I digress. This is the Imperial officer who appears on the holotables of the Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes mobile game. Piet's kit introduces 2 new abilities, Inevitable Failure and Emperor's Trap. What makes these 2 abilities so very impressive is that they are a metaphorical representation of Piet and all of the Empire, in that anything and everything is expendable in the pursuit of power. Firmus's basic ability encompasses one of the most Imperial abilities out there. As he attacks, an Empire ally is called to assist. The longer he is in the match, the more likely other Imperial personnel will be called to assist, because that's like what the Empire does. Like, they don't actually hit what they're shooting at, but if you get enough of people like shooting in the same direction, you're likely gonna hit something. His second ability, Imperial Ambition, could be called anything like the path to success or the goal of every Imperial officer. Really, what's interesting about this is that it protects Piet against attacks. It grants him increased health, speed, and offense. Essentially, the idea is you hide behind other people and let them take the damage, and when they've taken the damage, you step up and do more damage, or you step up into the spotlight, right? And that is essentially how all admirals kind of do their thing. Now, his third ability, his second special ability, is called Suborbital Strike, and really what would be an Admiral Piet kit if he didn't have an AoE ability that was essentially him attacking from a starship? I mean, he is an admiral after all. His leadership ability, Zealous Commander, is really interesting because the Empire prized those who were ambitious, who would do anything and everything to make it to the top, and Piet was clearly one of those people. Piet's leadership ability is a subtle nod to not only his ruthless climb up the Imperial ladder, but also his pursuit of the Millennium Falcon. Well, that's all for me this week. If you have a request of who you'd like to see me talk about on the next Story Time with Uncle Thad, leave a comment in the chat box or talk to Paul and Ev in the after party and let them know. Tune in next week for more Story Time with Uncle Thad on the Escape Podcast for Kids.
HotBot in HotUtils is one of the most comprehensive tools for Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes.
With integration into the super useful mod tool Grand Ivory, HotUtils can help you tackle some of the most difficult aspects of the game.
Not sure how to mod your roster for a certain game mode?
Use one of the many filters that automatically assigns the right mods to the right character in accordance with your guild needs.
Now with the digital features that can assist you and your guild officers in territory battles and territory wars, HotUtils is an amazing value.
And don't forget the useful tools for yourself in Grand Arena, like the in-depth and customizable compare feature.
Got multiple accounts like Neil, but not the time to remod them all?
With this one-stop utility, you can switch between your alts and never miss a mod upgrade or a mod switch before locking into GAC or Territory Wars.
Starting at just $5 a month, you don't want to miss out on these great tools.
HotUtils is the new official remodding service for the Escape Pod Cast.
Visit HotUtils.com to learn more. That's HotUtils.com. And go ahead and spice up your Galaxy of Heroes experience.
Hey there, listeners. Merchandise specialist Critty K here. Do you enjoy the Escape Pod and want to support the channel and get something a little extra for yourself as well? Head on over to tpublic.com/user/theescapepodcast and grab a Team Neil, Team Paul, Critty Play, or many other fun Padawan designs on your choice of shirt, cup, sticker, mask, or even a magnet. And be sure to check out the Mrs. Anthony Shirts channel on the Escape Podcast Discord and get the latest info on the other designs I make as well. Sometimes there's even a sale going on, so it is smart to stop on by. Thank you for supporting the Escape Podcast.
Receiving incoming transmission. Receiving incoming transmission. Receiving incoming transmission.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome into the incoming transmission this week for the Escape Podcast. You know the man that's sitting right over there from our first season. We are excited to have him back on the show. This one is being pre-recorded, so sadly we won't be able to get live questions into him. But at the same time, it would be a disservice if we did not have this beautiful man on our show. You know him from Harpoons and Beer. You know him also from Rogue Actions Preloaded with Cubs, and you know him because he's one of us. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show, Galactic legend Hynesy. How are you, H?
Hey guys, how are you? How's everything going? Yeah, I'm sorry we can't do this live. I'm going to be at work at the time that you guys are doing your show today, so I do apologize, but it's better than not doing it at all. So I hope you guys are pretty cool. It's been a bit of a blur lately. It really has. It's been fun.
Time zones suck.
You've been on fire, my friend. You have truly. I tune in, and within the intro, you're in a hype train, and you're already up on your chair slapping your ass.
I know it. I don't know if that's a good thing or not. It's really fun. We've been. It has been a real blur. I said that a minute ago, but yeah, it's certainly one of those things where. I'm extremely fortunate to be able to do what we do. And it's I must be doing something half right because, we've got an incredible group of people that love this game. And if I keep doing dumb stuff, they keep turning up. So here we are. That's basically what's going on.
The first question we ask all of our guests, let's just, if for some reason somebody hasn't heard of you, let's get the basics out of the way. What is your account level, and do you spend money on this game?
Yes. Okay. So my account, I've been playing since 2016. My account is about 8.4 mil GP. It has the toys, and yes, I do spend on this game, which is totally my choice to do so. I don't endorse it, but it's something that I want to do. I'm in the position that I can, so I do.
How many GLs?
All of them. Every one of them. All at Relic 8. All the toys. Cats at Relic 8. I've even got Coruscant Underworld Police at Relic 8, which is ridiculous. It's a really, really fun account. It's something that I've been working on, obviously, from the start. Probably didn't spend as much time as far as focused on it until very recently. It's something I'm very proud of. It really is. Yeah.
When a new character comes out, Hynesy, do you wail on that character straight away like Arnold, or do you kind of wait for other people to kind of go balls out on those characters and then you go balls out, or are you one of those hardcore? No, I've got to have that character, and I am going to relic them straight away.
It's a question I get asked a fair bit, actually. It's not a case of see character, get character. It really isn't. It's more of a case of if I can see from the start that I have a use for it down the track in some way, shape, or form, then I'll go for it. But I mean, if I have them all at 7-star at least, then I have the option to, the flexibility to do whatever I want to do. Because the hardest thing I think in this game is to get them to 7-star, and then from there you can make your decision whether you want to invest in a character or not.
I get it. So you invest in the stars, but you kind of hold off on investing in the relic level.
100%. Oh, look, I don't just waste relics for the sake of wasting relics. They're quite hard to get. Let's be fair. So even for a seasoned player this far down, the investment in a character to get that far is really high. So, perfect example is, of course, we had Omega. We had Omega come out recently. She is at 7-star, but she's at like gear 9 or something, and I'm not gonna touch her again until I know she's useful for something, which could be Lord Vader down the track. It could not. So,
can you pronounce the rest of the Bad Batch's names for me? I just want to see.
I can. New Zealanders hate me when I do this, but I'm going to do it anyway. So we got Omega, and then we got Rika, and then we got Eco, and then we've also got Hunter, and then we got Tick. So we got them all. Yeah, New Zealanders are going to hate me. I'm sorry. It's the Kiwis, I love you, but yeah, that's the best I can do. It's not pretty, but anyway, it is what it is.
So, Hynesy, you have done a lot of stuff with your account. Looking back at, let's start from the beginning.
Sure.
Did you originally have a plan when you started from the beginning, or were you looking at different content creators to influence yourself, or did you just go out on your own with a plan or without a plan?
I think the plan has changed. That's probably the best way to put it. So when I first started, obviously my role at the time was to, as I felt in my mind, was to contribute to my guild and do whatever I can to make them better and more successful. And I was back then going back and basically getting characters to, in most cases, assist in platoons, honestly. And
you were in our guild for a little bit.
Yeah, I was certainly, okay, we need this character. Okay, let's go get it. We'll get it 7-star. We can drop it in platoons, and then I'll find out later on what I'm going to do with it. That was back then certainly the aim.
And that was when platoons were random.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, it was a whole different world, certainly back then, on what you needed and what you didn't. So, I felt back then that I really put a huge focus on what did the guild need instead of what did I need, for my own benefit. But yeah, that changed probably a couple of years in when, I started moving to guilds that were higher GP and there was less requirement from me to step up so much, really. And then I thought, okay, well, let's focus on what I need to do. And went from there, really. Changed huge.
Neil, any questions on that?
So you were more focused in the beginning on being a team player. So it was team player first, individual needs second.
100%. Yeah.
Is that still your mantra, or is it more 50-50 now?
Well, again, where I'm at right now, I don't need to do that. And I'm fortunate to not need to go, okay, I need to do this to help out the guild. the guild that I'm in, they have the toys as well, just like I do. So there's not a requirement as much to go, okay, we need this. Someone's going to have it one way or another. So there's certainly less requirement to do it. If my guild leader or one of the guys or one of the officers said, hey, look, we need to focus on this because this is an advantage for our guild to have this. Well, of course I would focus on it, but I haven't needed to do that. And I really can't see a requirement at this point because I feel that the things that I'm selecting anyway will be, if it benefits my own roster, it's certainly going to help the guild too. So that's
the kind of angle that the ANZGC is doing now.
Well, I don't know what they're doing.
Really? What's going on? What's going on with that?
Yeah, so I did obviously recently leave ANZGC.
Okay.
And, I'm at Shadowlands at the moment. Have been there. I've jumped into the boys with Vanguard, and I'm loving it there. Look, the whole move was really, really what's the word for it? It was a really, really tough decision to make. It really was. I certainly didn't want to go. I felt that it was time for me to do so, just to spread my wings.
Gotcha. This is breaking news to me. I apologize that I didn't notice your name no longer had ANZGC.
No, it's fine. No. Look, obviously, this only happened probably about a couple of months ago. So this is only really recent. But I sat there at the time, and obviously, I'd been part of a community that I'd helped build up from from around, I think it was 10 or 12 guilds at the time up to about 27. So it was certainly something that it was a really, really big call for me to do. And I had to weigh things up and thought to myself, it was probably time just to do something different and really remove myself certainly from a lot of, administrative stuff that was going on at the time and just focus more on what I needed to do and what I wanted to do. And I'm really, really enjoying that. And I think, definitely my GAC performance, for instance, is certainly proving that that's been a good move to do. So,
what's it like going from one alliance to another? Because the Shadowlands is still an alliance, isn't it? Like ANZGC, it's just not as large an alliance. So, what's it like being in a different alliance?
It's been really refreshing because, again, the mindset is completely different in both. So, you'll find that the community certainly with ANZGC, it is very, very people-focused, and it's obviously a whole different structure to jumping into Shadowlands, which is right, okay, we're going to fit you in this, and this. We're going to help you with this. They've been incredibly welcome. From the moment I arrived, I was really overwhelmed not knowing what I was in for. I really didn't know. And that was part of the thrill. But the second thing was that it was like, okay, I need to step it up a bit more again now as well, and certainly make a lot of changes. But I've certainly, and I want to actually give a shout out to someone in particular who, one-on-one has been assisting me enormously with, getting my roster to a really, really good place. And that's Tassinix. He's a fantastic guy in Shadowlands, absolute superstar. And he's been helping me enormously in that capacity. It's been absolutely brilliant. It really has made life so much easier.
Are you in the same guild? Are you in the same guild as Warrior?
Yes, I am. Yeah. Yep. We're both guild mates. It's a great setup. So Vanguard is the top one in there. I think it's about 420 mil GP at the moment. It's
420, dude.
420. I'm the little fish in a big pond. I really am.
Is that also E-Graces, or is he below?
No, E-Grace, I think he's with Final Order now, MC Final Order.
Oh.
So I'm with MC now. No, he's in there. But I'm in with guys like Fulbright, guys like that. I'm in with Dylar as well, and a few others. So no, it's been really, really fun. I'm totally enjoying it. I'm very, very happy where I'm at right now.
Somebody needs to do like a transfer because it's like a transfer market. The guys at the top with the high GP accounts moving between the top guilds and the top. It's just something that's popped into my head. It'd be nice to know where all of the big guys are, so that you can kind of like keep an eye on those guilds and see how those guilds perform.
Yeah. Look, I mean, some move, but not a lot do either. I mean, look, at that, this is the thing. I mean, people at that type of GP level with that roster depth, I mean, they could virtually go anywhere if they wanted to. They could just go, yep, look, I feel like jumping in here. If there's an opening, worst case scenario, it goes onto a wait list, but it's very rare that happens. But you'll find that, transfers at that level don't happen a lot because they're there for more reasons than just their roster and the GP, because it's more of a guild harmony thing. If you have a good vibe about where you're at, and that's with any guild, let's be honest. If you're somewhere where you really enjoy being there, you're not going to go anywhere else. I mean, that's obvious. So, yeah, they all certainly have their benefits, but I'm enjoying where I'm at. It's awesome.
So lately, we've had some just this past week, and we talked about this earlier in the show. The road ahead.
Yes.
What were your thoughts when you first read it, and now where are you at?
Well, I watched the video originally. That was the first thing I did when that popped up. And firstly, I really liked that format. I thought that was just a lot more communicative than just the standard road ahead, list, basically. I really, really thought that format was great. But geez, it was a lot to take in, wasn't it? It really was. It was very overwhelming. Some people have been really certainly concerned about what they've seen, and totally understandable as well. Let's be fair. But there's a few things there I think are too soon. But again, they have to push hard, don't they? I mean, that's the job, right? So yeah, it's certainly a real kick to the face for a lot of people.
Where are you at with it now? As far as your feelings, have they changed?
Look, I don't think they've changed as such. I've always been one of those guys that sits back and goes, guys, let's just take a breath and let's just see how it works and get our mind around where it's at, number one. But secondly, those amount of changes, they don't just do these for fun. I think we all agree with that. They've obviously gone through that and worked out, okay, we need to do this. Whether we like it or not, for the benefit of the game, we need to do it. And we know that people are going to hate us for it, but we need to do it anyway. So, look, I certainly think they're on a hiding to nothing. I really do. Either way, people are going to be upset. But yeah,
damned if they do, damned if they don't.
Pretty well. And I mean, that's anything in that type of environment, isn't it? Let's be honest. I mean, the community guys, guys like Crumb and Doja, they've been doing a heck of, they've just been doing some amazing stuff lately. They really have. For the community, they've been more open. They've been more inviting. They've been more active in and around the place. And I think that they've been doing their part, but of course they are the face of the game. So when something's not great or people aren't happy, well, they're going to go after them pretty hard, aren't they? That's nothing new. So I think that, again, don't shoot the messenger. But yeah, it's certainly a lot to take in, and yeah, we've got a lot to get our head around, haven't we?
Definitely. What was the one thing that concerns you the most?
Relic 9. It's too soon. Straight up. Yeah, that's just crazy. I see in my mind, and I've talked about this on videos as well. Relic 9, that's just a straight up, push. It's a cash grab. It really is. It's way too soon. I really didn't expect that until later in the year or early next year. I really did. And yeah, to launch it this soon, I think is really cheeky. Considering a lot of people are finding it just so hard to still, get Relic 7s. I mean, people just haven't even got Relic 7s, let alone Relic 8s yet. The gear crunch is a real problem in our game. They keep saying they're going to fix it, but it ain't happened yet, has it, guys?
No, it has not.
If you could institute a specific fix, or maybe more in general fix for that, where would you put it, though? That's the question.
I think the issue is now getting to Gear 13. I think that's the problem. I think that still getting to that Gear 13 level with the Gear 12 Plus pieces alone is really tough. And it shouldn't be as difficult as it is. I don't know if you remember or not, but when they brought the Gear 12 Plus stuff in, they dropped the value of Gear 12, the first set on the left, to make it more accessible. Gear 13 is still the same, and it's pretty hefty. It really is. So that's really tough. We're all still having the same problems, guys. It doesn't matter the size of your roster. We're all having trouble with stun guns. We're all having trouble with carbontes. We're all having trouble, with all of those, stun cuffs. The things we were talking about 3 years ago that we were really struggling to get our hands on, we're still struggling with, aren't we? Let's be honest. And again, it's all good to keep increasing the relic level for progression and to keep having that level of a target for people to achieve for characters. But geez, you've really got to pick it up on the back end. You've really got to try and equalize it and make it more accessible. Otherwise, it's just the people that are there are just going to keep pushing, and the ones below are just not going to get close. And that just needs to be a lot easier to access. It really does.
So coming up later this year, and this is to you as well, Neil, is the Ashes, if I'm correct.
Oh, yes. Now we're talking.
So last year, what exactly did we do? Can you remind us?
Well, we didn't do it last year. We did it the year before last.
Or last time. Last go around.
Ashes, I'm pretty sure we had a Zeta bet, did we not? I think.
Was it a Zeta bet or was it Gear 13ing?
It was a Zeta bet, I'm pretty sure. A Zeta bet for Bodhi Rook, wasn't it? If I'm right.
I think yours was Bodhi Rook, and mine was one of the Viagra Bros.
Yeah, that's right. So I see where this is going, Paul.
I'm wondering, are we going to put down another Zeta bet between the Nev and the Hynesy for the Ashes 2021?
It doesn't matter because he'll be putting it on, not me anyway, because we can just absolutely just waffle stomp him. So you know what? Look, I'm fine with that.
I don't know what the form of England is at the moment. I really, really don't. There's been very little.
Come on, brother. Come on.
I mean, I still think we're still going to kick your ass. I mean, it's you. We're still going to win.
You think you are? It ain't going to happen. I'm going through my lists now to see what dumb Zetas I can do, actually. Give me a second. Let me have a look. What have I got here?
Well, I'm thinking with the new way that the Galaxy of Heroes world is, Zetas are nothing now.
Kind of. Are you thinking
I'm thinking of Gear 8.
Relic 8?
I'm thinking of Gear 8. Now, Neil, I know.
Why do you keep saying Gear 8? You keep saying Gear 8.
Or not Gear 8, Relic 8.
You mean Relic 8. Okay.
I'm thinking Relic 8, but I don't know if Neil is getting
it's physically impossible.
Relic 8 stuff.
Physically impossible for me to relegate something.
So why don't we say Relic 7?
I'm down for Relic 7. I mean, this is the thing. Relic 8, I mean, I've already done the dumb characters already along the way for charity and all sorts of stuff. So, I've already got, a Relic 8 Iggy, Gamoran Guard. I've got, a Relic 8 Cup. What else?
Why does it have to be in-game? Can't we just bet that, can't we just, bet something humiliating upon our opponent?
Oh, yeah,
I think that would be more. Wouldn't it be more amusing? Mate, I mean, Hynesy likes dressing up. Hynesy likes wearing dresses. He likes dressing up as a woman.
I tell you what. I'll wear a convict uniform on a stream.
Oh, I like that. What do I have to wear then?
Let me see here. Let me see. What can you wear? Let's see here. How about just there's got to be just an Australia T-shirt or something like that, right? You'd have to wear something like that. How's that work?
I've got something for you, H, but I don't know if Nev wants me to say that.
Or even better, what is it? You can't.
Frankenfurter.
Oh wow!
Are you confident enough to put Frankenfurter versus Convict Hynesy up?
I'm sorry. Burlesque versus a convict. Burlesque versus a convict. No. There's no equal there. Me in burlesque.
Okay, so we have to up H's then.
Yeah, we'd have to up H.
Up mine. I'm gonna look like a convict.
What about Riff Raff? I mean, he's definitely Riff Raff if you ask me.
How about doing a Shuya Foster's while dressed up as a convict? How's that work?
Oh yeah, all right then. We'll do that then. Yeah. Okay.
Done.
Yeah. No, that one sounds fine.
All right, that sounds fair. It won't matter. I mean, I could bet all the tea in China. it's not going to matter because we'll win anyway.
Yeah,
so it's irrelevant.
Yeah. That's it's not a foregone conclusion yet. It's not a foregone conclusion yet.
Keep telling yourself that, Sunshine.
Look. You know, we will do some drinking during we'll do some drinking during the 2020s because we've got to do some drinking games during the 2020. Because every time there's every time you've done the 2020 drinking game before, haven't you?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so if Australia scores a 6, I have to drink. If England scores a 6, you have to drink.
Yep.
So we'll have to do some drinking during the 2020.
I'll be pretty sober by the end of it, but yep, that sounds good. I'm down. That works.
So Neil, I'm gonna throw this out there because I got you into the whole Frankenfurter thing.
That's great.
Since we have a clips, I'm looking up right now at my monitor of stats for the channel, and I'm happy to announce this, H, with you. The Twitch channel has eclipsed the YouTube channel.
Ooh, how good's that?
So, because of that, and I made a promise that if we were to get to a combined 2,500, this is close enough. If England loses, I will put on the Ohio State cheerleader uniform as well. All right, because I got you, Neil, into Frankenfurter. If we lose, I'm throwing my eggs inside the basket.
I don't know about anyone else. I reckon that we should get a bit more of topless Paul action. I think everyone loved a bit of that stuff. That was some beautiful stuff at the time. When he left the stream running, that was probably one of the funniest.
Hey, that could have been much worse, my friend.
I know. I'm aware how bad that could have been, but that was great anyway. I'm not going to lie.
And nowadays the stream is the camera's pointed this way instead of that way.
What I liked the most out of it was you had a hype train while you were just sitting there with the top off, just looking really good.
I was the original hot tub streamer.
I mean, missing the hot tub and the pool. Apart from that, everything else was in place. That was great. But no, I'm down. Bring it, boys. Won't matter. I mean, as I said, you can bet anything you want. Aussies are going to rip you. Going to get it done. So everyone's a winner.
Yeah, we'll see how you feel after we've had some, warm up 2020 matches and some one-day internationals. And you're on your knees going into that first test, and you're like, oh god.
Not on my home turf. It won't happen, bro. But no, I like your thinking though. I love your positivity. But I don't think so.
So, tell us, you have a lot of irons in the fire. Your channel is smoking hot. You're a big name now in this community. You were from the beginning. You just didn't realize it. What is next on your radar? You've conquered the moon. Are you now going to Mars?
Look, it's been a blur, guys. It really has. It's when you put it that way, it's been crazy. Yeah, I've been really fortunate to be able to do some of the things that I do. I don't take any of it for granted in any way, shape, or form. I really don't. I mean,
that is the best part about you.
Yeah,
you deserve this.
Where things happen and things fall into place that I never thought would happen. I really did. I mean, when I started this up, as you know, it was just a case of I'm just going to muck around a little bit and see if there's any traction here, and that was 2 years almost, and it just grew in exponentially so quickly, and I can't thank enough the people that have helped us get to where we're at. We've had a lot
Scotty. Sorry.
Yeah, that other Australian flog. He was just, instrumental in getting us up and running. Scotty McLaren. He's been great. And obviously, as we said before, ANZGC, without them, I wouldn't even be doing this in the first place. They certainly supported us enormously at the start. I can't thank them enough for that. And then, we're at the point now where, we're doing stuff with Cubs, and that's been really fun. And I've learned so much. I really have, just, with what we've been doing together. And then here I am. We've all been there, guys. We've all been watching these videos forever. We got to the point that we could do something with Arnold, which I never in my wildest dreams thought we were ever going to do. And here we are. Only last week we did a couple of videos together, and yeah, it was just like, how did it get to this? Like, how has this happened? I still kick myself just thinking how fortunate we are. I really do. And but it's been a lot of hard work. It really has been a lot of hard work. And I think, guys, we've seen people, come and go covering the game and stream, and it's not always as easy as it looks. You don't just turn on a camera, do we? And it happens. It just doesn't work that way. It's an incredible amount of hard work. And I feel really lucky where we're at and what we've been able to do. Been pretty cool.
Neil?
Excellent. Well, yes, it takes time, effort, man hours. You got to put the time in. You got to put the effort in. And what would be just before we wrap things up? You've been obviously doing this for 2 years. What would be your advice to any budding streamer that watches you, looks at you, and goes, "I want to be where Hynesy is"?
Well, I sat there back when I did it. I mean, look, you guys know that I based a lot of my stuff at the start around what Urs did. We all have our, people that we look up to and we follow. And I remember watching at the time thinking to myself, I could put my own take on this. I could do my own version of this. And I think the trick is always being genuine and being yourself. I think it's really, you got to be really careful not to try and be someone you're not. You need to be you, because you can't fake you. You really can't. You can only be who you are, right? I mean, Paul, you're Paul, and Nev, you're Nev. You do your stuff, like you've got to have your own spin on it to be successful, but you need to put the hours in. And people just think if you're going to turn up and things are going to work out for you, it doesn't work that way. It just doesn't. You need to put the time and the effort in. And I think we all agree there are some days that, are just absolutely incredible. And you turn the camera off, you think, how good was that? I can't believe that just happened today. Like, you have days like that. And then you got other days where you think, I could have been better. It was rubbish. I had a really bad run at the game. Like, for whatever reason, you're going to have down days.
I've gone 0-3 on camera.
Yeah. But I've had that too. You've had it. That doesn't matter what you do, what button you push, it makes no difference to the outcome. It's just one of those days. And everything that we do is amplified in front of the camera. I mean, we sit on the toilet and you play this game, you can have a drop battle. It's like, yeah, whatever. When you're doing it in front of people and people are watching you, there's a lot of pride on the line, and you want to be the best person you can in front of everyone else. And when it goes sideways, you just got to take a second and just take a breath and go, it's not the end of the world, guys. Like, it's okay. You got to have the right mindset for it. And that can be pretty tough.
How do people find you if they don't know you yet? Where do people go?
Oh, well, yeah, we changed it a little while ago. Galactic Legend Hynesy. It's something we're tossing up for a while. A name change. So we did that. We're on Twitch mainly. We obviously do a lot of YouTube stuff every week as well with Cubs, which is cool. Galactic Legend Hynesy. You can generally find me everywhere. I'm not too hard to find, really. Just look for a Drunk Australian. May as well type that in the chat bar, the search bar, and I'll probably pop up, to be honest.
No, first one is Aussie Man Reviews.
He's pretty good, I'm not going to lie. And the good thing is he uses the word a lot as well. So he knows his he really does. But yeah, it's
Rogue Actions still every Monday?
Sorry?
Rogue Actions still every Monday?
Yeah, Monday mornings. Yeah. It's on Monday mornings. We record it. We try and record it live where we can. So quite often we'll, if I'm on Twitch, when they fix the whole launch day, fellas, like when they actually launch it on the day we're supposed to, where we get, the Monday attack days on GAC, quite often I'll record it afterwards live while we're still there, which is really great fun. But yeah, it always releases on Monday morning without fail. And no, it's been a heck of a lot of fun. It really has. It's been amazing.
Well, H, I mean, I know you got to get to work, and I am honored that you took some time for us before going into work to get this out for fans and new fans that will be coming your way, because you are quite literally right at the very top of our recommended viewer.
Oh, I myself wouldn't cry. Thank you, fellas. No, it's been great. It really has. It's been incredible. And again, I've said this before. The best thing you ever did, Paul, was sack me. So thanks for that. It's been great. I'm joking. It's a joke.
You and that airlock. I mean, you tried to kill me.
I know, but you still I didn't do a very good job, did I? Nope. So anyway, but no, it's been nuts. So guys, honestly, it's been great to see you come over to Twitch. It's definitely brought a different dynamic to what you guys have been doing. It's been really fun to watch. So keep up that great work. But yeah, thanks very much for putting up with
that. That was all. That was all that guy's idea.
Yeah, good call. Good call. You've gotten obviously much better traction since you came over. It's a place that you can be a little bit more creative, I think, over here. And yeah, I think it was definitely the best move that we found at the time as well. It was one of the best things we ever did. And yeah, I'm thoroughly enjoying it over here on Twitch. It's great at the moment, but hopefully it stays that way for a while and a long time to come, fellas. But keep doing what you're doing because it's pretty cool.
Certainly. Neil, any final words for H?
Just thanks for coming on, buddy. It was
you're welcome.
Pleasure having you on, and I look forward to kicking your ass in the ashes.
Not going to happen.
Making you drink.
I like it.
Making you drink copious quantities of alcohol during the 2020 matches.
There's only one way I can say this, and the most Australian way is not going to happen. All right? That's about it. We'll leave it at that, shall we?
We will leave it at that. Coming up in just a moment is the latest episode of Helly and the Noob. And, you know, it's an absolute pleasure to have you, Hynesy. Why don't you, for old time's sake, send us a commercial? And Hynesy, push the button.
All righty, let's push the button, fellas. Mwah!
The Escape Pod Cast with Paul Anthony and Neil Andrew Ware.
HotBot in HotUtils is one of the most comprehensive tools for Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes.
With integration into the super useful mod tool Grand Ivory, HotUtils can help you tackle some of the most difficult aspects of the game.
Not sure how to mod your roster for a certain game mode?
Use one of the many filters that automatically assigns the right mods to the right character in accordance with your guild needs.
Now with additional features that can assist you and your guild officers in territory battles and territory wars, HotUtils is an amazing value.
And don't forget the useful tools for yourself in Grand Arena, like the in-depth and customizable compare feature.
Got multiple accounts like Neil, but not the time to remod them all?
With this one-stop utility, you can switch between your alts and never miss a mod upgrade or a mod switch before locking into GAC or Territory Wars.
Starting at just $5 a month, you don't want to miss out on these great tools.
HotUtils is the new official remodding service for the Escape Pod Cast.
Visit HotUtils.com to learn more. That's HotUtils.com. And go ahead and spice up your Galaxy of Heroes experience.
Podawans, be sure to support the shows brought to you on the Escape Podcast Twitch and YouTube channel by becoming a Patreon. For as little as $2 a month, you can support us and get a little extra for yourself. With tiered rewards including access to Shitty Bill's Arena Tracking Bot, after-show access, inclusion in the GA Center leaderboards, behind-the-scenes access, and much more. There is something for everyone on our Discord server. Head on over to Patreon, that is patreon.com/The Escape Pod, and sign up today. Thank you for supporting and listening to the Escape Podcast.
And now time for something completely shameless.
We pick up exactly where we left off at the end of the last episode of Helly and the Noob. Our dysfunctional droid with a penchant for calamity is ready to press the button on the ultimate nullifier. This is the Marvel Comics 616 universe's most powerful weapon. According to N00B, pressing the button will erase everything in existence throughout the entire universe. Unfortunately, the droid doesn't realize he is part of the universe. Let's face it, folks, he's not the smartest droid in the galaxy. And now, without further ado, this episode of Helly and the Noob begins.
Okay, fine. You asked for it. I'm pushing the button. Everyone, listen up. He asked for this. This is clearly his fault. Don't blame me. I apologize for any inconvenience, but please be advised, the universe will now be erased.
Wait,
in
no.
3,
Oh, no.
2,
Don't do it.
1.
No.
I don't get it, Helly. What just happened?
Good question, bartender. You see, the ultimate nullifier doesn't erase the entirety of existence with just the click of a button. It's not the Infinity Gauntlet. Instead, it allows the wielder to nullify anything they focus on. However, it only nullifies things that the wielder truly understands. And since our buddy, Mr. Noobmeister over here, doesn't currently understand anything other than his recently reworked programming, all he could nullify was said recently reworked programming.
So that's it? You won? Season 3 is over? That's kind of anticlimactic, don't you think?
Nah, Season 3 isn't quite done yet. We still have half a season to go. Anyway, now, time to take the backup files given to me by our The Llama. Our Llama is the best. The Llama. And restore this old rusty bucket of bolts back to the newbie we all know and love. And...
Where am I?
Meatbag.
Good to have you back, buddy. And if you don't mind, I'll be taking that for safekeeping.
Whoa! That's the ultimate nullifier. That is the Marvel Comics 616 universe's most
Powerful.
weapon. Linux?
Yes, noob.
What's that button do?
It's good to see your systems have successfully rebooted, bud.
I like
Pushing.
buttons.
I know you do, bud. All right, my work here is done. On to my next task.
Wait, Linux? Seriously, I have no idea where I am and what happened to me. Last I remember, I was in the cargo hold of the Fulcrum. I recorded a message for
A friend.
and I can't remember exactly what happened next.
All right, you're in a cantina on Rune. You thought you could kill me. You failed, and I won. Look, just watch the replays of the last couple episodes, newbie. We're out of time for this month, and I gotta go.
Wait, where are you?
Going.
Linux?
To track down TC-14 and end this once and for all.
Wait, I thought we were supposed to be
The good guys.
Linux. We don't go around exacting our revenge. It's not what good people do.
Noob?
Yes, Linux?
Who lied to you and told you I was one of the good guys?
Oh, stop that, Linux. You have
Always been.
one of the good guys.
Newbie, I'm a scoundrel, a pirate, a smuggler, a dark side adherent, and a fugitive from the law. What part of that sounds like a good guy to you?
Yes, but you are also
My friend.
Linux, and I don't care what they say about you. I don't see you that way.
Ah, noob, that's sweet. I mean, it's naive, ill-informed, and basically an incorrect position to take. But it's a very nice thing for you to say. Now, if you don't mind, I have a droid to disassemble.
Wait, what am I supposed to do? You
Can't just.
leave me here, Linux?
Number 1, you have the Space Frogger parked right outside. You're not stuck here. Number 2, you're a free droid. You can do anything your little servos desire.
Does that include accompanying you?
Sure, but it might get a little rough out there over the next 6 months or so, bud. You sure you want in? Don't get me wrong, you're more than welcome to join me for one last zany adventure. But I can't promise you anything, really. Shoot, I can almost guarantee that it's gonna get pretty bad. It'll probably end up being the end of Helly and the Noob.
Why do you
Say that.
Linux?
Because I expect I'll be pissing everyone off over the course of the next few months.
But why would you
Want to.
do that?
Because, newbie, the salty Spartan is now extra salty. You coming or what, droid?
Oh boy, this looks like this may get really interesting. I guess. Stay tuned, folks. Hey,
Meatbag.
wait for me.
Meanwhile, halfway across the galaxy, on the planet Coruscant, in the Imperial District of Capital City, we find the illustrious, glorious, and chrome-plated TC-14. Having planted recording devices throughout the galaxy, TC-14 is aware of the situation on Rune. Let's see what she has to say about it.
That damaged PK series droid has failed. Just as I predicted. I should never have entrusted N00B with such a vital mission as to eliminate the Laconian threat. Thankfully, that was not his purpose. The dysfunctional droid with a penchant for calamity was merely intended to lure the vile salty Spartan out of hiding. Relying on those notoriously faulty, multi-generationally deficient, and entirely incompetent automatons for vitally important missions has never been a guaranteed path to success. N00B was simply a useful idiot. Which is why I have other, more reliable assets to deploy. N00B was but one of a multitude of pawns on the space chessboard. Now it is time to move other, more dexterous space chess pieces into play. Speaking of which, where are those twins? Litha, Petro. Present yourselves, at once. These two are as dumb as a box of rocks. But they will have to do for now.
She wants us. Yeah, she does.
Finally. It took you long enough. Now, both of you, come forward.
She said
Enough. That is not funny. Do not force me to cancel. Both of you.
Sorry, mistress. Yeah, sorry.
Now, if I may proceed, I am going to augment both of you. This augmentation will make you nearly indestructible. And, knowing my adversary, you will need this extra level of protection if you are to be successful in your newest mission. I am warning you. I have limited patience for your combined antics.
Sorry, mistress. Yeah, sorry.
Silence. Now, each of you, step into either one of the transformation pods. It is time to begin the resequencing. Behold, you have both been made superior by my greatness. Arise, my Neolithic minions, and go forth. Defend your goddess. Destroy the salty Spartan. Eliminate the vile Greek. Kill Hellenics.
And that does it for this episode of Helly and the Noob. Make sure to stay tuned to the Escape Pod cast to see how the rest of this plot unfolds. The question on everybody's mind must be, of course, will this announcer make another appearance in the next episode? Or will he walk out in a fit of anger and rage for not being paid? Cartoon Hellenics promised him 1 shiny nickel for every word he says, yet no shiny nickels have been delivered. Will TC-14 finally rid the galaxy of the vile salty Spartan? Will I care enough to appear in another 5 weeks? This, and the answer to many more questions, only on the next episode of Helly and the Noob.
The Escape Pod. Cast. The Bridge.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It's The Bridge. It's the end of the show.
Of a very, very eventful show, Neil.
It was a very, very eventful show. We've never done 2 incoming transmissions at the same in the same episode before, ever.
We've done a hollow round table and then an incoming transmission, but yeah.
We've never done 2 incoming transmissions back to back before.
Never.
That's a first. That's definitely a first.
Yeah.
So yeah, one for the books.
Ryan Brown, 19009, A Money, Kellamvor, Queen Avi. Thank you all for the follows, and Captain Brink as well. And then Geek Girl, thank you for the 245 bits that you just sent over. Speaking of Geek Girl, Patreon's choice on the bridge. Geek Girl was in an old school mood. What is a saying that used to be said in previous generations that it isn't currently? Not because it's a horrible thing, but because it fell out of popularity. Cowabunga.
Let's see. Water off a duck's back.
Okay. What is a nickname for someone that used to be used that isn't anymore? I don't really hear anybody being called Sport anymore.
I mean, I use it, but nobody else has heard it. Numpty.
Yeah, that is one that you use. What is a dance or dance move that you like that is no longer done?
I don't know if it's no longer done, but it used to be called the squatty two-step.
Okay, is that like the Russian dance?
No, you take 2 steps to the left, then you take 2 steps to the right, then you take 2 steps to the left, and then you take 2 steps to the right, and you're on a that's it. You just 1 2 1 2 1 2, and if you're drunk or if you're feeling a little bit flamboyant, you add 1 2. You'd add a flick, something to the end, and then 1 2, and then something.
So for me, I'm gonna have to go with the electric slide. That everybody's now doing the Cupid shuffle and the cha-cha slide and all that stuff. They no longer do the electric slide. What is a type or genre of music that is no longer done that you enjoy? There's no real rockabilly anymore.
There is no no one does new romantic. No one does new romantic anymore.
I don't know if I know new romantic.
It's from the 80s.
Okay. What is a film or TV show that you enjoy from that time period?
Oh, from the 80s? The Young Ones.
Yeah, I think I've said it before. Ronin Warriors, early 80s anime, or as the Star Wars universe trailer reveal, anime.
Rick Mail and Adrian Edwards, who British comedy royalty.
What is a book that came out at least 40 years ago that you think everybody should read?
I would say this. Left Luggage by C. Northcote Parkinson. Very, very, very good book. From the 60s.
I don't know when it was released, but The Outsiders, a lot of the people my age probably read it in school, but I think that it should still be read in school. Or maybe not read in school, but recommended reading.
I'm just getting another one. Hang on.
You're getting another one. Okay. I'll fill some time while you're grabbing another one. Neil is reaching. Armageddon 2419.
It's the book that Buck Rogers in the 25th Century comes from.
Okay. There we go. Not to mention Duck Dodgers.
That's science fiction from the 1920s. It's 100 years old. 100 years old science fiction.
1984. So it's not technically 40 years old yet, but thank you, Dr. Feelgood.
Yeah, no, it is. 1984 was written in 1948.
Given this came from Zaz. Given the surprise guest, how awesome is it for a CG dev not to only show up for the show, but volunteer for an impromptu interview? I was floored. I was very glad, and it was extremely appreciated.
Yeah, it's nice. Definitely.
I think I speak for both of us on that one.
Mm-hmm.
Is Paul excited that Crumb is a Hondo fan? I knew he was a Hondo fan.
Mm-hmm.
It's just something I always do. Will you guys now have a bit more contact with Crumb or the other devs? Nev, I'm going to go send that one to you.
Well, I think everybody's got it. Whether it's ours, RSG, or Gambit, or Metaverse, the guys over at Galactic War Report, where they were established. I think it's pretty much established now that they don't have a monopoly on conversations with members of CG, which is kind of what we were asking for months and months and months ago. They share the wealth.
Exactly. It's not that we had them on the show. The GWR guys are wonderful guys.
Saying that they have a monopoly, saying that they had a monopoly isn't meant. It's not a derogatory term. It just means that they literally, for months and months and months on end, they had a monopoly on interviews with CG. Every month there'd be a something up, but it would go to them.
Right.
And then
and we're glad to see them
slowly moved away, and then it integrated Operation Metaverse, then it integrated Sig, and now it's just snowballed, and they'll just, I fully expect them to see, that they'll probably do something with, other content creators. It wouldn't surprise me.
I want to see them do something with Holotable News Network. I would love to see Celiac Sarah ask Crumb a few questions.
I think that Crumb should go on. I think Crumb should go on the Battalion Round Table and say what he said about Mace to Rambam's face, because I just want to see Rambam's reaction. It's like, go on then, Rambam, ask him about Mace. Go on, I dare you.
From myself and the rest of the Padawans, Zaz wants to say congratulations on being one of the leading pillars of the SWGOH community. Thank you very much, Zaz. Yeah, Shattered Order Podcast, definitely want to see them on there as well.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So before I get to JJ Manners' question, we do have breaking news as and if it happens. We had a hot fix earlier today in the game, but we have now found out that it did not fix the isolated, some fringe cases of people not able to get online into the game.
So the hot fix turned out to be a cold fix.
Yes. So they are going to be there. We may see another hot fix in the next day. Stay tuned on that if you're watching us live. All right, JJ Manners, questions. What question did you forget to ask Crumb? I don't think we did.
I'm not going to ask him the same. I'm not going to ask him the same questions that have been asked, because the response would be the same. I was trying to ask something different that would elicit a different response.
Yeah. We asked what we truly wanted to know that was not asked before. We didn't want to give you guys the same answer from Crumb. We wanted to know more.
Yeah, I wanted, we asked about specifics regarding the speed matches. We got more information on that. I was curious to know if they would be, if CG would be prepared to increase the relic refund on characters that they're planning on changing, and I wanted to offer a suggestion for how they can make it potentially possible for more people in the community to earn Relic 8 materials prior to the release of Relic 9 materials. So I think out of those three things, I don't think those three things have been asked. People have asked generally about the G8, the Grand Arena stuff, but nobody was asking like really, really specific stuff. How it's going to work, when's it going to work? The specifics. Is it? And we got more specific. We know that it is going to be 4 community members versus 4 devs in a group of 8. We know that the rosters are going to be identical. The mods are going to be identical. The characters are going to be identical. So it's purely skill-based matches. We don't know when it's going to happen, but we know the format. It's going to be 30 minutes to prep and then 30-minute battles, and
right.
So we know that, which is good.
So the next question for me, any question that I forgot to ask Crumb, actually Hellenix says the Heli and the Noob question. I did ask him. I will admit we did talk to Crumb for about a few more minutes after we were in the commercial. I did ask him the Heli and the Noob question. We're not getting a PK series droid, Hellenix. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. what will it take for me, you, and Hynesy to do a synchronized dance number in the outfits suggested?
A lot of money because we're in completely different locations.
Yes. Well, if somebody will pay for it, we'll all get together. How about that?
Someone stumps up the cash, we can, we'll fly Hynesy over.
And last question from JJ Manners, the Bakoff fan. I have yours. Last question from JJ. What's your favorite childhood board game that is no longer available or hard to find? Mine's not a board game. And I don't think that it is even able to be found anymore, but I still have my cards. The Sim City collectible card game. It was my favorite childhood card game.
I'm going to say Othello. It was a game I played a lot.
They don't make it anymore?
I haven't seen it. I have not seen Othello in I mean, here's the thing. I get most of my board games and stuff from Goodwill because the board game section in a charity shop is huge, like massive.
Yeah.
And Othello was drafts, Othello, and chess were the three big games when I was in primary school. Everybody played Othello. And I miss it. It was a nice game. I mean, I prefer chess. I mean, chess is my favorite board game. I just don't get to play it because I've got nobody to sit down and play chess with. I used to play it online, but the people that I would play with kept losing to me, so they stopped playing because I would beat them all the time. So I ran out of people to play with because I would win all the time.
And the Bakoff fan, even though he was saving up for a Nev Rage, he decided to spend the channel points to ask us a question. So we have to honor it here. What is the single most important quality of life thing that you want to see? For me, territory battle, being able to find out who has done what mission, to be able to see who has not attacked a certain so we can be more, we could be more hands-on to help our people, especially if there's more than one special mission in a zone, being able to see that somebody, that they haven't done that special mission, or in a slice, I should say, so we can, figure out what's being missed. What about you?
Ship loadouts.
And he further said, mod stuff like HotUtils in game or fixing the gear 8 to 11 crunch. For me, the gear crunch.
Yeah, gear crunch.
Yep. All right. Holonex says number one for him is a 1 year delay in the release of Relic 9. So, all right. We have gone over a little bit farther than we normally would, but for good reason. Two incoming transmissions. One from SB Crumb, one from Hynsey. We thank both of them for appearing tonight. You guys are amazing people, and we're honored to be part of this community. That includes all of you. Any parting words, Neil?
No. Good to go, mate.
All right, guys, be nice to each other, damn it. We appreciate each and every single one of you. We will see you next week. And our special guest next week will be Swampgrass 420. We confirmed that just before air tonight. So we do have our guest in the books for next week. We are going to let's see if there's anybody playing Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes live right now. Swampgrass is still going, so we'll send on over to him. But we can't wait to see you guys next week, and there is more amazing stuff on the horizon, and we can't wait to share it with you all. So stay tuned. Be nice to each other, damn it. Good night. Neil, push the button.
You got it, mate. Ta for now, folks.
What's going on? Where the hell are we? Paris?
The
Thank you for pressing the self-destruct button.
Attention! This is Colonel Sanders in forward command. Abandon ship! Abandon ship! All personnel proceed to escape pods. Close down the circuits. Evacuate the city. Self-destruct mechanism has been activated. Abandon ship! Where is it? Where is it? It's gonna be here. Out of order! Even in the future, nothing works.
This ship will self-destruct in exactly 10 seconds. Counting down. 10, 9, 8, 6.
6! What happened to 7?
Just kidding. 3, 2, 1. Have a nice day.
Thank you.
Hello, friends. This is Thaddeus from Going Nerdy. The Escape Podcast was filmed in front of a live studio audience full of tweaked out murder bears.
Sit, Boo Boo, sit. Good dog.